Hey guys, welcome to the Azure Basic session by Scaler. So in this particular Azure Basic session, we're going to look into how to create a storage account and how to create a blob container. So these are the two things we'll be looking into, and we have introduced the basic session to give you a quick and easy going video which will get to the point and teach you what exactly is said. So if you want bigger tutorials, if you want longer tutorials, we already have certain tutorials on Azure and AWS in our channel. You can check them out. But these will just contain what is said. That is, if I say that I'm going to create a storage account and a blob container, only that will be shown so that you can understand it easily and then you can proceed. More of basics would come in our channel. So make sure to subscribe to our channel if you want our upcoming videos, and also leave a like if you enjoy our content. And if you have any queries, leave a comment down below and we would be helping you out with any question. So now, without any further delays, let's begin with it. Okay guys, so now let's start off with the Azure Storage video. So what we're going to look into is basically how to create an Azure Storage account and how to launch our first storage blob container within it. So it's going to be up to the point and it's going to be a very short video so that we could give you a clear understanding of what's going on. So to create a storage account, obviously first thing you'll have to do is log in into your Azure account. So portal.azure.com, log in into it, and this would be the home page. So the first step, obviously selecting storage accounts. If it is not showing here, you can just search for storage accounts over here and click on it. Okay, so click on storage accounts and you would see this. You could either click on create here or you could either click on create storage account over here. So whatever you click, it will take you to this particular window, which could be scrolled. You can see I clicked on create, so this is opened, right? So now over here we have around 7 different options. So 6 options we'll have to provide information, and finally it's review and create. So first, whenever you create a resource, you will have to select the subscription. So the only subscription I have is the free trial one, so I'm selecting that. Then the resource group. So in the Azure tutorial, which is available already in our channel, I have created this resource group Azure tutorial. So if you do not have any resource group right now, create a new one, just click on it and provide a name. It'll automatically create one for you. Okay, so next is you'll have to provide a storage account name. So let's see this. The name must be unique across all existing storage account names in Azure. So that basically means this particular storage account, right? The name should be unique all across entire Azure. So nobody else, even if it's not your account, if someone else is using it, even they should not have the same name as your storage account. For example, let's say I'm typing Azure. See, the resource name Azure or what trademarked or reserved word. Okay, so this is not usable because it's a reserved word. So now let's say Azure 123. Okay, I'm not. Let me not use Azure. So let me say hello. Okay, so storage account name hello is already taken. That basically means somebody else already has a storage account named hello. So you cannot use this. So I'm just going to use scalar storage account. Okay, sorry, I can't use this. Done. So scalar storage account. So this is what is the name I provided, and it's common across everyone because here you can see that there is no error showing. Then you can choose the region in which you want to host your storage bucket. So it's going to be in East US. I'm not changing it. If you want, you can change it according to your needs, right? Okay, and then performance. So there are two kinds of performance. One is standard, one is premium. Standard is basically it's general purpose. So for everything you can use it. It's the most commonly used one. If you're just using it for practice or for a simple project, go with standard. If you're going to use it for a project which requires low latency in the sense when a customer or end user is searching for something and they want to find it immediately, so in that case you'll have to go with premium. So if it's an actual product which you're going to give it to users for usage, in that case go with premium. But if it's a simple practice or you want to save costs, go with standard. And then there is redundancy. So you can select what kind of redundancy you need. First, local redundant storage. So local redundant, it's the lowest cost option. Okay, so it basically means so again, server rack and device failures. So if the server rack or device fails in the local, in the particular availability zone in which it's hosted, it'll provide you the data back. But this is not recommended for critical scenarios, only non-critical scenarios. That is, again, if it's a simple project, if you're just hosting it for your own personal project, then go with locally redundant storage. But if in case you want the data to be available in a secondary region, in case there is a failure in the primary region, so you can go with the geo redundant storage. So what basically happens here is it will have the same storage replicated in a secondary storage. If the primary storage location goes down, that is the East US availability zone goes down, it will already be available in another location. So that data will already be there, so you can easily fail over to that zone. Okay, that's geo redundant. Then there is zone redundant. So intermediate option with protection against data center level failures, recommended for high availability scenarios. So geo redundant is for backup scenarios. This is for high availability scenarios. High availability scenarios in the sense, let's say your application is very popular, lots of customers are using it. In that case, you can go with zone redundant. That is, your data will always be available. Even though one or two data centers go down, there would be other data centers which have your existing data. And finally, geo zone redundant. So this provides both. It combines geo redundant and zone redundant. So this is for critical data scenarios. If it's a really popular application, let's say if you have Uber, if you own a really popular application which cannot have any data failures, in that case, go with geo zone redundant storage. But it's obviously the most expensive option available here. Okay, so I'm just going to go with geo redundant. Next, advanced. So here you can select what kind of, so if you want a secure transfer via REST API, you can select this. You can unselect this as well if you want to. Enable blob public access. So if I'm creating a blob storage, do I want to give it public access? If you want, you can tick it. If not, you can take it away. Enable storage account key access. Yes. Minimal TLS version. So this will automatically be taken as the latest version. So you don't have to worry about it. So if you have an active directory, you can authorize that you can only log in into your storage account using the active directory. But right now I'm not using it. Let's just concentrate on creating this. So everything else you can just leave it like this. Only one thing I want to discuss here is the access tier, again under blob storage. So there are two types of access tiers, hot and cool. Hot basically means you're constantly using the data. Constantly the data in the storage is being downloaded or being looked at or being used. So in that case, choose hot. But if you want to choose cool, that basically means your data is not frequently accessed. Let's say it's accessed once every week or once every 2 weeks, in just to keep your backup data and just to check history data, just to store history data. In that case, go with cool. Okay, but I'm just going to go with hot. And next comes networking. So yeah, I just want public endpoint. I don't want private endpoint. So you can go with public endpoint selected networks. That basically means you can just provide access to your particular IP address. I'm just going to go with all networks. Next is network routing, Microsoft network routing, and there is internet routing. So determine how your route travels to its Azure endpoint. Microsoft network routing is recommended for most customers. So Microsoft network routing will direct your traffic to enter the Microsoft cloud as quickly as possible from its source. Internet routing will direct your traffic to enter the Microsoft cloud closer to the Azure endpoint. So if you use Microsoft network routing, so it could take you to the nearest, there is the nearest data center, and then through the data center, it could travel, basically, it would travel privately within that. This is a much safer method, but it could be a little slower until it gets into the nearest one. So the travel, so because there are multiple routes, so that will take some time. But internet routing will directly take you to the location. For example, if you're hosting it in the East US and if you're searching it from India, so internet routing will automatically take you to that particular zone and it will directly enter into that cloud. So I'm just going to go with Microsoft network routing, which is a little more secure. Data protection. So again, so you can, let's say if you delete a blob, and how long do you want the blob to be available in your trash? So all of that. So that details you can provide here. You can enable versioning directly here, or you can enable it later, no problem. then encryption. So you can use Microsoft managed keys, which or they automatically provide, or you can use customer managed keys. But in that case, you'll have to upload your own key over here. Okay. So I'm just going to go with the Microsoft managed keys, and all my service types should be encrypted. Tags. I think you guys know tags are basically just optional. It's not actually necessary, but this particular tag will be applied to all the resources under the storage account. So I'm going to provide it as storage, you can provide it as scalar 1, review and create. So it will just validate. So once validation is passed, it's ready to be created. So done. So once you click on create, that basically means you have created your storage account. It will take some time to deploy, but it has created your storage account. So that's what you'll have to think about. Okay, so all the resource info will be provided here. Let's wait until it gets created. Okay guys, so the resource has been created. You can see here, right? The storage account has been created. So I'm clicking on go to resource. Yes. So my storage account is successfully created in East US region. Secondary also has been created, which is West US. So why is it available, the secondary? Because we provided geo redundant. Okay, so we provided geo redundant, that's why it is showing this. If you provide locally redundant, this wouldn't show. If you provide zone redundant, it won't create a secondary in West US. It will have a secondary within East US itself. But if you provide geo zone redundant, it will have both the secondary and also it will have within the primary itself. Okay, so yeah, geo redundant storage is available. Done. Okay, it's standard and hot, read access geo redundant storage. So everything we provided has been taken into account and it has been created successfully. Okay, so now let's see over here what are the things which are available. So mainly there are four types of storage, data storage in Azure: containers, file shares, queues, and tables. So talking about containers, those are blob storage, that is binary large objects. So binary large objects are basically any binary object. It could be audio, video, it could be a PDF file, it could be a text file, a code file. So any binary object, any file which could be converted into binary is a binary large object, right? So that could be stored in containers. Now coming to file shares are basically it's a shared storage. For example, once you create a file share, you can attach it to multiple servers. Okay, it's not that you can only attach it to one single server. You can attach it to multiple servers. For example, let's say there's a large data set stored in this file share and you want to share it to 100 servers. So obviously it will be hard to copy into 100 servers, or it would be because storage would be wasted in all the 100 servers taking up that space, right? And if you, let's say, create 100 file shares and attach it to it, again that will also be a waste of money and storage. Instead, you can create one file share, put the dataset in it, and connect it to all of the 100 servers, and all of the 100 servers could ping and check this particular storage because it's a shared storage. Okay, so that's basically what file share is. And then there is queues again, it's basically a queue. So you can create a FIFO queue, you can create whatever queue you want. For example, when you can create, then you can provide all the details you need. So basically you can provide a queue before an application starts its work. So whenever a new request comes in, it will be added to the queue, right? And according to that, it will send the request inside the application for processing. So you can have a queue for that. And then table is basically a key value pair NoSQL database. So you can create a table over here, and yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so you can create a NoSQL database. All right. Okay. Now coming to containers. So you can see there is already one container which got created, which basically is created for storing all the logs. Okay, let's just ignore that. So now let's create a container. Container. I'm providing the name as container one. So you can select private, blob, or container. So if you select private, that basically means nobody else could access it. Blob in the sense, so basically there would be read access for people anonymously. Okay, so you can share your blobs across to people. If you select container, it will provide read access for the entire container and for blobs. So I'm just going to choose blobs because I want blobs to be available. So blobs in the container can be read by anonymous requests, but the container data is not available. Anonymous clients cannot enumerate the blobs within the container. That is, they cannot see the number of blobs, they cannot see anything else. They could see individual blobs. That's it. Advanced, you can select this if you want to. So use this encryption scope for all blobs in the container. So it's just going to be the same. I'm not going to click on it. So now let's create it. So container is created. Let me open it. Now let's upload a file. Container, uploading two files. So two files are uploaded, guys. You can see here, right? So two files are uploaded here. You can basically see the file over here. This is the URL, and if I paste it, and you would be able to see the file, because blob storage is available for every single person because of anonymous access. Okay, so now I can change the access level to, I can change it back to private. Yeah, so now you can see it's the specified resource does not exist for repository. Okay, so now let me change it once again. Let me refresh it once again. Click on this, select this. So now you can see it is showing. So this is how you can basically take it. Yeah, and then you can, it's pretty easy to delete. You can just select and delete it like this. And you can change the tier if you want to change it to cool. If you're not going to use it, you can change it to cool, or if you want to archive it, you can archive it. It's totally your call. Yeah, so that's basically it. And what else? Yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. This is what I wanted to show you, and I'm pretty much showed to you guys. I'll also just show you how it works as delete when deleting it. Also delete blob snapshots. Done. So blob snapshot basically is if you have taken up a backup of that blob, that will also get deleted. Okay, so now let's go back, go to the storage account and go to containers, and let's delete the container. Done. And then you can again go back to overview, and you can also delete the storage account if you don't need it. So you just have to type the name of the storage account and click on delete, and that's it. It'll delete your storage account. You don't have to wait for anything. It'll automatically delete it. Yep. So now if I refresh this, the resource won't be available, you can see, because it's deleted. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for attending this particular session. There would be more basic session coming up, so make sure to subscribe and also leave a like if you enjoy our content. If you have any queries, leave a comment down below and we will be addressing them. So thank you.